Hello, and welcome to Reels on Wheels. Today I am flying solo. I am taking a trip to New Asgard to check out Thor: Love and Thunder. This is the fourth Thor film and the second film directed by Taika Waititi, and I am very excited because I love the direction that this Thor franchise has gone in. I thought Ragnarok was a very special movie, somewhat of a game changer for the genre, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's got a really stacked cast. Valkyrie is back, Jane Foster is back as the mighty Thor, and we're introducing Russell Crowe as Zeus and Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. I really like the trailers, and I really like the vibe of this movie. It's got a real 80s kind of metal rock vibe to it, so I'm excited to check it out, and we will let you know what we thought when we come back. Okay, I am back from my viewing of Thor: Love and Thunder, and I gotta say, it wasn't a bad movie. It was quite enjoyable, quite fun, but to be honest with you, I felt like the humor was not as strong as the heavy stuff. The darker aspects of the story, where you have this character in Gore the God Butcher, played wonderfully by Christian Bale, doing crazy and creepy things in the film, wanting to kill all the gods in the universe because he suffers a great loss in the beginning of the film. And then another thing that was very heavy, that was very also compelling, was this idea of Natalie Portman's character Jane Foster, who has stage 4 cancer, and she's just overworking herself trying to find some kind of cure. She wants to keep fighting, and then Mjolnir calls to her, and then she goes on this journey to become the mighty Thor. All those aspects kind of cram into this movie, which is, I think, under 2 hours, which, don't get me wrong, I love the sort of breakneck pacing of it, but because of that breakneck pacing, I feel like these really cool story ideas only shine for a little bit, and it's kind of all over the place in some spots, and you sort of throw in a lot of different things to fit around the story of Thor kind of lost. He's this person who doesn't know who he is anymore. He doesn't know where he fits in the universe, and they sort of try to build off a story for Thor based on all the other things going around. I would have loved to just have a Mighty Thor movie, or a King Valkyrie movie, or a Thor versus the God Butcher movie, and it was all these different things sort of adding up to what makes Love and Thunder. And some of it works. There's a lot of like almost forced humor, which I think they're trying to carry over from Thor Ragnarok, and especially with the Korg character. And some of the humor's funny and some of it isn't. There's a lot of really cool stuff I liked in the movie. What the hell? Stop honking. That's as annoying as the screaming goats in Thor. I did read a couple reviews here and there just to sort of gauge the pulse of this movie, and it's pretty divisive. You either really like it or really hate it. I actually kind of fall somewhere in the middle, but I think there's a lot of really good stuff in the movie to warrant you going to a theater to see it. I'll say that the third act is really cool, where Thor imbues the power of Thor to all these Asgardian kids, which is a really cool idea. Just like this dude's like giving all these kids the power of Thor so that they could fight against the monsters in the shadows. I don't know, that sort of appealed to me because I really like kid heroes. The stuff that didn't work for me, I think, was going to Omnipotent City, meeting Zeus and all the gods. That was really weird, and maybe that could have been its own movie too. I didn't mind Russell Crowe as much. He was doing like some weird like Greek accent thing, playing it for laughs, and he was pretty funny in the movie, but that just felt like a weird middle ground. Kind of a detour in the main storyline. What else did I like? I liked the fight in the Shadow Realm, where it was like a black and white movie, and then whenever there was like a lightning strike or anything, the color kind of exploded. And I like that they fought on like this crater, something out of like Super Mario Galaxy, where you can like walk the circumference, and like we were far enough that we could actually see it. I thought that was kind of cool. Chris Hemsworth always does a great job, but like I felt like the story didn't really need to be about him, but it's almost a forced story where they're like, all these other things are happening, how does this affect Thor? And I'm like, well, I want to know how being the mighty Thor affects Jane Foster and her health. Like, I really wanted a whole movie about that. And I wanted a whole movie about Valkyrie not wanting to be the leader of New Asgard and funneling all this diplomacy and turning New Asgard into like the #1 tourist attraction. And then Gore the God Butcher, which I thought was a really great villain. And that's another thing. There seems to be like a weird mandate lately, and I think this goes all the way back to Black Panther, where you're trying to showcase a little bit of empathy towards these villains and dissect the reasons why they're doing the things they do. Not every villain needs to have a redemption story, like a Loki, or like in this case Gore the God Butcher. Sometimes I just want a villain to be a villain, and I think if they leaned more into that, I felt like that would have been a lot darker. And I think that's why there was so much humor infused, because the humor seemed to undercut a lot of the more dramatic moments. Not too much so that it took me out of the movie. There's still some really good stuff there, and that's all on the strength of the performances of these actors. Little gripes aside, I will say I liked it a lot more than Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I think it's because it feels like a one-off. It feels like another great Thor adventure. It has no real connection to anything else that's going on in Phase 4. And like, maybe that's why I liked it, is because it's kind of like a Marvel one-shot. I wish I got more of it though. I wanted more of Jane's story. I wanted more of Gore's story. But what they gave us wasn't as terrible as some people have been saying. It's actually really fun, and the effects are great. There's like a lot of really good actors in the movie, and they're doing their best. Russell Crowe's doing something, but I didn't mind it as much as other people did. I want to talk with the post-credits sequences. Again, full spoilers, but I like the idea of Roy Kent. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Roy Kent, Brett Goldstein as Hercules, sort of teeing up a Thor versus Hercules movie, maybe. I thought that was like the best part to come out of that whole gods angle. Natalie Portman gets to enter into Valhalla, and not because of the fact that she died in battle. It's because she was fighting this internal battle for so long, and being greeted at the gates by Heimdall, I thought that was a nice touch. I liked Heimdall's son sort of being prominent in the movie, Astrid, Axel. There's a lot of like really cool lineage stuff in there, and I don't know, I enjoyed it. I thought it was super fun. I'm gonna say it is a Reels. Go see Love and Thunder. It's a pretty fun movie. It's got really cool action pieces, and there's a lot of really dramatic sort of heft to it, which I wish there was more of. Like, you know, Love and Thunder sounds like it's a really, really fun time, but there's a lot of dramatic stakes in it, and I kind of wanted more of that. I wanted it to lean into the heavy a bit more. That's my hot take. So for Reels on Wheels, I have been Justin. Hopefully, you know, I can get Irene in the seat with me again, and we'll review whatever movie comes out next. For Reels on Wheels. Hey, what's going on here? This is Justin for Reels on Wheels. Wow, I came in hot. I came in with a hot energy.